But just pick one word to describe yourself right now. And remember what that word is. You can even write it down if you have a pen nearby. And now let's get into the actual techniques, or the technique that I want to show you today. And if I do my job correctly, by the end of this, you should notice a shift, some kind of shift. It may not be the shift that you want. Sometimes this can bring things up, uncomfortable things. It may make us feel more relaxed. It may make us feel more agitated. The goal isn't to feel anything specifically today. The goal is to simply see what we can feel today. To be open to whatever wants to come up. That's a big part of what we do at Rage Heart and the Rage Heart Academy, is learning to be available for what's arising. So to begin with, simply take a look around the room or the space that you're in. In the nervous system world, we call this orienting. We are orienting to our environment. After hours, days, weeks spent in our heads thinking about everything, orienting is a bit of a holiday from that, to take a moment to look around. And if eyes are not available to you for whatever reason, you can also do it with your ears. The idea is to start to pay attention to the external environment just for a moment. And notice how you look around. Do you look around slowly, gazing at one object for a lengthy period of time, or do you find your eyes darting around the room? What do you notice yourself noticing? And now let that go and see if you can feel the ground or the chair. You could be lying down or sitting down or standing, it doesn't really matter. But simply take a moment to feel your connection to the environment through your sense of touch. We might say, just feel the ground, feel the chair. And if you need to, you can do a little wiggle to generate some sensation in that part of your body. Notice how that feels. And now letting that go. And coming back to your breath now. How does your breath feel? And as you pay attention to it, does it change? Do you find yourself controlling your breath? And can you allow your breath to do whatever it wants to do without controlling it? It can be tricky. And so letting that go now. And just notice what we did. We just put some attention on our external environment, right? Looking around or hearing the environment. We then focused on the ground or the chair. And then we focused on our breath, right? So 3 different things, 3 different focuses, 3 different points of awareness. And it all starts there. When our nervous system is, we would say, dysregulated or a little bit out of whack, we sort of get out of the habit of paying attention to what's happening around us. And so we can be stressed and worried about work, family, health, all kinds of different things. And we think that if only we could figure it all out, solve that problem, then we could relax. Not realizing that all our nervous system really needs is to know that it's safe. And this isn't a matter of saying, I'm safe, I'm safe, I'm safe. It's about feeling it and knowing it, which is much more to do with the sensory data we are receiving, right? You could have a scary dog in front of you barking, and you could tell yourself, I'm safe, I'm safe, I'm safe, I'm safe, I'm safe, as many times as you like. You could write lines and say it in the mirror. But if there is a scary, intimidating looking dog there and you know it's there, you're not going to feel safe. Doesn't matter how many times you say, I'm safe. But if you start to pay attention to the lack of a dog, the lack of a scary dog, if you start to pay attention to the fact that it's really quite safe, probably, depends where you are, I suppose. We call this not just orienting to the environment, but orienting to the safety in the environment. So keep playing with this. And where it gets very interesting and more profound, in my experience, more powerful, is when we start to blend these points of awareness together. So have a look around the room again. Notice if it's safe. The reason we do this is when we have been through a lot of bad things in our lives, we often get a very well-developed danger map, a map of all the signs that we're not safe. And that's okay, because that helped us at one stage and it did keep us safe. But now as an adult, often what we need to do is start to focus on the signs of safety. So looking around and just noticing, are there any tigers around right now? Any scary, screaming people? Any cars about to crash into you? Any fast-moving objects? Any people or animals or dangerous objects that are very close to you? And as you pay attention to that, just notice that you're giving your nervous system the data, the raw sensory data, the colors, the sounds of safety. If all is very quiet, if there are no fast-moving objects or loud sounds, you're probably quite safe right now. Of course, there's always exceptions to any rule, but you get the idea. Now, as you look around this space that you're in, see if you can feel the ground at the same time. So now we're blending what we're seeing or hearing and the ground, 2 points of awareness. And what happens as you do this? When you bring in a second point, do you lose the first point? When you bring in the ground, do you lose the environment? And if you do, that's okay. Depending on what we've been through in our lives, our ability to multitask our awareness can be quite limited. Not a competition. It's not about doing it perfectly. It's about exploring and playing and seeing what our capacity in our nervous system actually is like. You can try it in reverse. Focus on the ground or the chair, and then bring in the environment that you can see or hear. How does that feel? Can you do it that way? Start with the ground, and then add in the seeing, the colors, the hearing. And how does that feel? How does that affect your body? These practices can be very effective at getting our awareness into our body. And with that comes an awareness of what's going on in the body, which can be relaxation. Our shoulders might drop. There might be a spontaneous sigh. Maybe we feel like yawning. It can also go in the other direction. We might feel some tears. There might be something in our stomach, in our gut that wants to move. Maybe our heart starts to race, or our mind. When I say we're not looking to create a specific feeling. This is really a way to create an availability for what's already there, for that survival stress, as I've mentioned, to start to move and release and resolve, which allows the whole system to eventually, if not right now, it may need to come up. And then as that releases, then it starts to come down and our baseline resets to lower in more relaxation. Let's see what happens if we've done the environment and the ground and the environment. What if you do the environment? Can you see and focus on your breath at the same time? Again, noticing how that feels, how it affects your sense of yourself and your body. Doing it in your own time. I can guide you, but part of this work is also about learning to follow your impulse. You can try the environment, starting with the environment, and then going to adding in the breath, noticing when you switch or when you add in the second point, do you lose the first point? When you add the breath in, do you stop paying attention to the environment, or can you do both at the same time? You can flip it, start with your breath, then add the environment. And now you can probably guess what we're going to do next. Ground and breath. Right? We've done ground and environment and breath. Now we do breath and the ground. Remember, you can start with the breath and then add the ground or the chair, or you can start with the ground and add in the breath. Follow your impulse. Where do you find yourself focusing first? Noticing how this affects your system and your sense of yourself. How does that feel? Noticing again when you add in a new point. So if you start with your breath and then add in the ground, do you lose the breath? Or vice versa? And let that go for a second. One more thing to mix in. If it feels good to you, if it feels like there's room or space or capacity to do this, and really feel, you don't have to do this next one, but if you'd like to, give it a try. Instead of just doing 2 things, let's do 3 things. Multitasking, 3 points of awareness. This to me is one of the core practices of my own practice, my own life. I still use this years and years after I got into this work. I'm still using this basic and yet profound 3 points of awareness. So remember, we've done the environment, ground, and breath. So can you do all 3 things at once? Find your own way to pay attention to all 3 things. One of my teachers likes to say it like this: look around, or hear around if eyes are not available to you. Look around, feel the ground, and breathe. Look around, feel the ground, and breathe. Look around, feel the ground, and breathe. All at the same time, if you can. If you can't, that's okay too. This work is not about perfection, it's about learning. It's about seeing what can you do today and what can you do tomorrow. And like playing the guitar or learning anything, getting 1% better every day. That's where the real change is. And now I'm going to wrap things up. I don't want this to be too long, seeing as it's the first Rage inside the Rage Heart Academy. But this is an introduction to the work we do inside the Rage Heart Academy and at Rage Heart, which is really this learning how to get out of our mind, get out of our head, get out of this thinking mode and get into the body. And like I said, this is a very simple practice. It can be easy to underestimate it. Yeah, it's just the ground. What's the big deal? But if you really commit to this and master this technique, this way of being with yourself, it will change your life. It's changed mine. I've seen it change other people's lives. And it's really why I started Rage Heart, is to share, just to pay it forward. Like this approach, these tools have completely changed my life in the most magical and amazing and unexpected ways. And now I just feel like I don't have to do it, but I really want to just pay this forward and give this stuff, give these tools, this work to as many people as possible. Okay? So as we finish here, just check in. How do you feel now? How does your body and mind feel? Are they different or the same from when we started? What's changed? Is your mind busier or quieter? Is your body more tense, more relaxed? Just get a feel for where you're at currently. One word to describe yourself now so we can compare with the beginning. I said I was relaxed at the beginning, and I was. But I think now I feel, I might say, like more relaxed, quiet. There's a very quiet feeling in my system. So wherever I was at the start, I can really feel that I'm a little bit more dropped in right now as a result of what we just did. What about you? What is one word or a phrase to describe yourself right now? And how does it compare to when you started today, 20 minutes ago? Now, this is just a taste of what I teach people inside the Rage Heart Academy. This is the foundational skill, but there is a whole deep rabbit hole of ways to master it and practice it and get better at it, and also lots of other techniques for working with the body and emotions and the nervous system. Okay, and it all really boils down to, I can tell you the benefits like silence your mind like never before, or feel more alive than ever before, or unleash the beast. There's lots of things. You'll sleep better, you'll eat better, you'll be happier and healthier. There's all kinds of different benefits. And at the core of it is just your nervous system. And if you master this ability to regulate your nervous system, which includes your mind and your body, you will change your own life. It's changed my life and the lives of people I know. And I believe it can change yours too, 100%. Takes work. It's not always easy, but it can absolutely change your life if you commit to it. So if that sounds good to you and you do want to continue this journey with me, sign up to the Rage Heart Academy below. You can get a free trial for 1 up to 2 weeks, really, depending on how long you sign up for. And then you can get into it. You can do more rages, more lessons like this during the free trial. And then if it continues to work for you, you can just stick around, keep going, keep learning, keep diving deeper, keep mastering your nervous system. Okay? If you have any questions or issues, challenges, hit up the help desk. There is a red button in the bottom right-hand corner of this screen. You can message me on WhatsApp there, or just send an email to help@rageheart.co. Okay? Bye for now.